Hey guys, what is up? Stephanie here, aka The Limitless Babe, reminding you today and every day that you are limitless. So today I want to talk about what happens, or what do you do when you're on your growth journey and everything's going great, and then all of a sudden you get triggered, something comes that you didn't expect, and you revert back to the old version of yourself. So I know I'm not the only person that has done this. I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that can relate. But let's talk about this, because I want you to understand something. It's gonna happen. It might not happen often. You know, the further into your journey you go, the less it will happen, the less it will affect you, the less it might shake you. But it's still gonna happen sometimes. And when it does, it's important that, number one, we acknowledge it. Like, you have to be self-aware. You have to recognize, like, oh crap, this is my limiting beliefs, this is my triggers, this is my inner little girl screaming out, acting out, trying to sabotage, trying to throw my life into disarray. And then number two, you need to forgive it. You need to forgive her, you need to forgive yourself, you need to acknowledge that you're human. And the only way that you can move forward and go through it and fix it is by actually tapping in and allowing yourself to feel all the feels and releasing the shame, release the guilt, release the self-punishment feeling of it, release the feeling of, well, now I've screwed up, so I guess that's it. I'm just back here and that's all there is to it. No, that's not true. I think it's super important that we acknowledge that we are human beings that are living a human experience, and that we are going to mess up. The people in our lives are going to mess up. And it's not the mistakes that have the greatest impact on our life. It's actually how we handle the mistakes, right? Like, that's where the growth is. That's where pushing through the barriers is. That's the biggest challenge and the biggest mark of someone who's really, truly growing and developing. Because anybody can be their best self when everything is going smoothly, when everything is going your way, when everything feels, gumdrops and roses. Like, it's great. But show me that you can still be that highest version of yourself when things feel uncomfortable, when things get complicated, when you get triggered, when bad stuff happens, when you have to deal with really challenging circumstances, okay? That's when I know what you're really made of. That's when I know, okay, you're human, but you can move through it and you can take ownership, okay? So that would be number 1 and 2. Acknowledgement and forgiveness. And then number 3, get your shit in high gear and get back to work, okay? Like, get over yourself. Put your ego aside. Again, remember that you're a human being. And remember that you have the tools. You've done it before. You can do it again. And just start working. One day at a time, step by step. Pull out your journal. Start writing down, what are your limiting beliefs that you're experiencing right now? What are your fears? Are they true? Are they absolutely true? And if they're not true, okay, who do I want to be? How do I get there? Who is the version, how does the version of me that I want to be move through life? And then take action. Okay, so that's actually another thing that I kind of want to tie into point number 3 about, getting back on track, getting back to the work. I think it's really easy for us to assume. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I think it's really easy for us to assume that, well, that's it. I behaved in a way that I normally wouldn't behave. I reverted back to old patterns, and now I've shown this person or these people this version of myself, and I'm done. Now I just have to be this way with these people. No, you don't. You get to decide any day you want, any moment you want, any second that you want, that you get to be the version of yourself that you see fit. Okay? So if you want to elevate back to that higher level, just do it. You don't have to explain. You don't have to make a grand declaration. You just shift. Okay? People will catch up. People will figure it out. Now, with that said, Does that mean that if you did something inappropriate that you shouldn't apologize? Absolutely not. Apologize. Okay? I'm not a big believer in apologizing for everything or over apologizing. However, I do believe that when you do something that is hurtful or out of character, that yes, apologies are necessary. And that also shows the other person, okay, they acknowledge what happened and maybe I should take this new version of them seriously. So again, you have the right to decide that you get to move differently at any point. Do not let yourself get stuck into this mental block of, well, I'm behaving this way right now, so I have to stay here because now I'll be inconsistent. No. You know what's inconsistent? Staying in toxic patterns. Because they're all over the place. You let your toxic pattern run the show and you are in big trouble. Okay? What is consistent is saying, I made a mistake. Let me get back on track. Let me elevate back up to that highest version of myself and let me move from there. And if I fall again, guess what? I'll do it again. And I'll do it again. And I'll do it again until it sticks. Okay? So again, let's go back. I think step number 1 was, excuse me, accountability, self-acknowledgement. Step number 2, forgive yourself. Okay? Give yourself some compassion and love. Okay, because if you can't love yourself, I think so often we think that loving yourself means like looking at yourself in the mirror and saying how beautiful you are and all these things. Listen, yeah, that's part of it. But part of it is also loving and embracing the ugly, messy, effed up parts of you that sometimes come out because they're gonna happen. Okay, so you have to love and accept those parts no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how gross it makes you feel that like, oh my God, I can't believe I acted like that. Listen, honey, give your little girl a hug, give your inner child a hug, and keep it moving, okay? So accountability, self-forgiveness, get back to work, and I forget what the other thing that I said was, but just rewind and watch again because I'm walking. I'm trying to keep an eye out for poop, and I can't keep track of everything, but I think I gave you guys enough to think about. This one is short and sweet, and let me know if you have anything that you want to talk about in the comments. Drop me a line. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Please show the channel some love so that we can get more views and get more ability to talk about the topics that you guys really want to talk about. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Bye.